Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of the Duo Group Iron Man. In the last video, I did solo Tombs of Amascut for the first time. I learned some more of the mechanics of it and got a bit more comfortable with it. I was doing 150s pretty much the whole time last video, and it's been a lot of fun. I've really been enjoying it, and I want to keep doing more of it this video. For now, though, I'm going to do a little bit more AFK mining while I edit, so I'll just reset the XP for this video. By the way, here's the collection log for TOA. Nothing yet. Well, we got that light bearer ring when TOA first came out, but yeah, nothing. Hoping for the Breach of the Scarab. That's kind of the main thing I want to get. Or Osmond's Fang would be cool, or like really any drop would be cool. For any of you getting into TOA for the first time, whether it's for solos or teams or whatever, I like to think last video would be a pretty helpful video for new people. I gave like a bunch of tips and tricks as I was learning, so I would recommend checking that out if you haven't and you're trying to get into TOA. Because I won't be showing all the same tips again this video, obviously. But for this video, I do want to get into like bumping up the invocation since I was doing like all 150s last video. Jagex said that if you do 300 invocation, you're 2.5 times more likely to get a drop than just doing 150 invocation. So that's a pretty big difference. I don't know if I'd be able to do 300s with like my skill level, especially without a Fang and without like the best gear. I have like decent gear, but having a Fang I've heard would help a lot for that. I do want to bump it up from 150 at least. We're gonna start off right now at least with 150 invocation just to like get back into it. And here is my gear setup for it and the inventory I go in with, and starting off the video at 26 normal completions. Now, before we get into the rating, first we have a word from today's sponsor. RuneScape, the game we all know and love, originally went by the name Devious Mud in 1998 and 99. You could see it looks like such a basic game, but then when you think about what it slowly evolved into over the years, into what we have now, it's so humbling looking back at it. Nowadays, the original RuneScape is basically entry-level game development, and what if you had the knowledge and experience to create your own video games and turn it into an actual career with opportunities for growth? If that sounds exciting, then you'll like the sponsor of today's video, Southern New Hampshire University. SNHU has one of the largest accredited nonprofit online degree offerings in the country, and I want to talk to you about their game development program. In this program, you'll learn how to create realistic dynamic gameplay experiences with game AI, game physics, 2D and 3D graphics, and interface design. You'll also learn computer programming languages like C++, C#, and Java, and you'll learn 3D modeling and texturing with game art software. Courses are taught by industry experts who will teach you how to research, develop, and contribute to advances and trends within the field of game programming. SNHU is super affordable, and their online tuition rates are some of the lowest in the nation. So go to snhu.edu/wildmudkip, which is also linked below in the description, to see what the current average annual salary is for a programmer and request free information about the program. When you request information, a real person will hop on a call with you and discuss how the program can benefit you personally. It only takes one click to find your calling. Thank you again to Southern New Hampshire University for sponsoring this video. One sign that it's probably about time to move on to higher invocation is the fact that that was the last room of the raid before Warden. I started with 7 brews, so I only used 6 doses of brew in the raid. And yet another good sign that it's time to bump up the invocation is look at all the supplies I have left. I didn't even touch any of the brews in here either. Okay, here's the first raid of the video, and we get everyone's favorite white light. Okay, well there goes my 2 down. I don't think I've explained why I marked this tile and why this is the one I use for Warden. So, for the windmill attack, this tile is like on the border tile of where the windmill is about to move to. So when you see it's one movement away from being in your section, you can walk 1 tile east and completely avoid it. I guess you could do this anywhere in the arena, just mark any of the border tiles and then use that as your spot. But this spot is also useful for avoiding another attack, the converging beam attack. And this is because the corner of the room, as well as 1 tile diagonal inwards from the corner, are safe spots. So when the converging beam happens, I just stand on that tile to avoid the damage. Remember, I'm just learning as I go, so those may not be the best spots. I'm just showing you what I've been doing and what's working well for me so far, and showing my progression of learning. Since that's kind of like the whole point of my videos, to vlog my life in Gielinor, to maybe someday look back at the more simple times, and also to see how much I've grown both as a RuneScape player and as a person. You know how when you look at your past self and you cringe just thinking about things things that you used to say or do. That's actually a good thing because it means you're growing as a person, and that's what we love to see. Keep it up. Whenever you increase invocation for the raids, it does more than just add on the effects that you select, and I will show you here on the wiki. It says for every 5 raid levels, the NPC's hit points, defense, accuracy, and damage increase by 2%. And it looks like this scales linearly. So just the whole difficulty of the raid overall is going to be slightly more challenging for everything you add on. For right now though, I'm just going to add acceleration and overclocked 2, which is going to, I think, increase the attack speed of the final phase of Warden, and yeah, shouldn't be too bad. We'll do 170 invo. You may have noticed I've been collecting these things from the monsters. We need one of each of them, and I'll show you why. These do stay with you after the raid. I'll show you what they're for after this raid. Okay, so this is going to be faster now, and that is the speed. Yeah, I already did this in teams, just my first time doing this in solo with the faster speed. With Warden attacking faster, I think that can really help people to learn about counting ticks and timing attacks. And it's also kind of fun to try running tick perfect and anticipating the attack, because you can make it look like you're running through the waves even though you don't take damage because you just got the timing perfect. Also with Warden's increased attack speed, at least for this part when you're like running between the 3 tiles, it kind of makes you not have to worry at all about those falling rocks, since you're not going to be in the same spot long enough to even take that hit. Nice, 170 invocation wasn't really that bad. And of course the perk of adding on higher invocation is that you have a higher chance to get uniques. I've now saved up each of these 4 drops that are dropped by the different demi-bosses in the raid. I guess you could just go in and kill them one at a time and go out and do it that way, so you don't have to like save them all the way until the end, but it's really not a big deal to get them. First thing we have to do is talk to the camel. There's, I don't even know what you call it. It's not a quest, it's not even a mini quest, it's like a, I don't know, a little distraction, cool thing to get an item. Now we have to use each of the 4 items on him. First we use a bucket of water on the scarab dung. We get an egg. Use the big banana on Awowoji. We use the eldritch ashes on the high priest. With the thing in the inventory, we'll dig on the island here. We got another high priest here. We'll bring this egg to him. And we come back to Cam the camel and we'll talk to him and he'll give us a key. Yeah, we get this ancient key and now all we have to do is bring it with us through the raid because the room that we use it on is at the end of a raid. Huh, I was able to skip 2 of the puzzles this time. Was it like that for the 150 infos? I just wasn't even paying attention. I might have only had to like complete 2 this whole time, even though I've been doing all 4. The whole raid I was telling myself I will not forget to do the thing at the end of the raid, and I remembered. So let's take our key and we go to, there's like a keyhole in the wall. It looks like it's, yeah, strange tablet. So we will use the ancient key on here. Then we enter a secret passage. There's a strange chest, we'll open it up and we get the Uwu mask. That's what all this was for. Let's add Boulder Dash. We'll turn up to 180 invocation. I probably should have checked the wiki before because I didn't know this previously. But in a solo raid for that Kefri puzzle, the player only needs to complete 1 puzzle on either side, then you just cross to the opposite path and go through. I didn't realize that it opened up the opposite path when you complete 1 puzzle, so glad I know that now. So with this newfound knowledge, I guess ideally I'd want to not have to do this one, so I would start here, do this puzzle, and then that path would open up, and then I do that puzzle, and then that path would open up, because this obelisk puzzle is kind of the most annoying one to do. Wow, I can't believe I never noticed that before. I would just come into here and then just do the puzzle. I never looked. Oh, that is nice. I forgot at first that I had turned on Boulder Dash, and well, as you can see, I wasn't exactly having the best time. I forgot that brewing down would make me not one-shot them with the blowpipe, and it was pretty much a snowball effect from that point, pun somewhat intended, that led to this part being a mess. And in retrospect, I probably should have switched to the Bofa, but I got this fun clip out of it. A couple things to mention here. First thing is that because the damage scales based on the invocation level, make sure you know how much damage those energy balls are going to do, especially if you're doing the ambrosia method at this part. Also, if you get the obelisk down quick enough, as you'll see here, you won't take damage from any energy balls that are already in the air coming at you. But keep in mind, any UFOs that are still up after the obelisk goes down, those are still dangerous. There we go, 180 invocation, 30 KC. I forgot to show this last raid, by the way. This strange tablet, this little Easter egg. This is Morse code for Uwu, so like it actually is the Uwu mask. I didn't just make that up myself. Basically, you want to wear that mask when you're doing the melee roll at top, because that's the e-girl roll. That's the roll I usually do at top, by the way. Wow, 180 invocation, and I had the perfect amount of supplies to make it through the raid before getting to Warden. Even though I struggled with 180 invo, I want to just push it up to 200 invo just to try it and hopefully be able to say that I can at least have done a 200 invocation raid. I'm going to add overly draining, which makes all special attacks use 100% of your spec bar, which I don't think really affects me, seeing as my main spec weapon is a DDS. It's just going to like guarantee I have to do a 3 down for Warden. And I'm going to add walk for it, which is going to set a 40-minute timer. And if I don't get it in that time, then at the end, it'll decrease the invocation by 10 for like my loot rolls or whatever. I'm even going to bring the Karis Partisan for Kefri this time. Dude, the Karis Partisan is actually huge for the Kefri room. Unsurprisingly, of course. Since I have the Adrenaline Potion anyways, I may as well use it here to get an extra DDS spec in. I mean, it probably doesn't matter, but with different invocations, that could possibly be the difference between an extra down or not. Or actually, if you were slow with your switches and like you missed a hit at the start, then getting that 1 extra damage split in with the DDS could also possibly make the difference. And there it is, the 205 invocation raid complete, and I still had, let's see, yeah, a decent amount of supplies left over. And will we get rewarded? No. That's okay. I'm just proud of myself for completing it. And that was pretty well within 40 minutes too. That was 36, 39. I guess now that I have the time limit going, I should at least put the dragon pickaxe in the, was it the het room? I didn't really care before. It would have been kind of annoying because I was leaving like multiple times throughout the day to go AFK mine. So I just didn't want to like have to make the extra trip over here. I'll just have to grab it back out here tonight before I go back to Motherlode. Oh, no, I'm definitely not gonna get 1 down. Wait, will I? Will I still get the 1 down? Oh, for Baba, I started using the Bofa for when Boulder Dash is on, and it makes it so much easier being able to attack from far away. And with my stats, I don't have to worry about switching anything else besides the bow, and I don't even need to turn on Rigor. You should still be able to do a Boulder Skip with Boulder Dash on, but if you're using the Bofa, I'm not sure if you could still do it then. Hey, this one was even faster. It was a little bit under, barely under 36 minutes.
Oh my god.
Were you
What?
You're arranging the whole face?
Yeah, I was like, why is this taking so long?
Happens to the best of us, clearly. Hey, now's probably a good time to mention, a lot of you probably recognize One Puff Wonder from a lot of my videos. We've been good friends for a long time, and I wanted to give him a little shout out. A shout out. I gotta make sure he knows what I'm saying too, if he's watching this, because we have a bit of a language barrier between us. Anyways, a lot of you have been asking for UIM series, and I have good news for you. Puff is now my protege, my self-proclaimed protege as of right now, and will be carrying on the UIM adventures on his YouTube channel. So if you want to check out the journey that he's on, I'll link his first episode in the description. So make sure you smash that subscribe button, smash that bell, and remind him what the toughest boss in the game is, because he loves that joke. Also, check out Zach's videos. Oh my god, 96. I'm running really low on the anti-poisons. I'm not going to bother wasting antidote plus pluses. Those are much better used in other situations because I usually only use like 1 or 2 doses of anti-poison throughout the whole raid. Sometimes I don't even have to use any. And to buy them, I'm going to use the Brimhaven teleport on my Concape and then run to the Karamja shop down over here. And the price of these is 432, but with the Karamja gloves on, it goes down to 374. Need to save as much money as I can. As you know, I'm very poor on this account. It looks like it only stocks 10 per world, So I'll have to hop worlds to buy more. And then I'll just bank them at the crafting guild. I could decant all these potions whenever I'm done collecting them at the GE into 4-dose potions, but I don't think I've ever even had to use 3 doses of potion in a raid. So I guess I may as well just leave them in the 3-dose potions. I'll have more potions that way, because I almost always drop them at the end of the raid, the extra few doses I have left over. There is a shop in Sophenem called The Spice Is Right. What a great name for a shop, by the way, that also sells the 3-dose anti-poisons, but stocks 20 of them. It is a bit of a run from the bank, but I guess it's not too much of a difference from the run from the POH portal to the Karambit shop. That is about 100k spent, and I now have over 200 3-dose anti-poisons, which means I'm set for over 237 more TOAs. In this plugin, Multicolor Highlights, I highlighted the volatile baboons. Actually, I highlighted the shamans too, but the volatile ones separately just so I could like really be aware of them coming at me. So you'll see in just a minute here. I'll show you. Yeah, see, there's the volatile highlighted in purple, and yeah, nice to make them stand out differently from the other monsters. 205 invocation, and this is now the amount of supplies I have left over. So I feel like I'm improving and learning how to like run around and navigate the rooms a little bit better. Dude, sometimes this last phase at Akka is just so awful and painful to do. I feel like it ends up being either super easy or just terrible and makes you want to rage quit. And it almost feels like a mind game because you question whether you should be purposely trying to dodge them or if that would just end up making you take more damage. This is level 100 range. Sometimes when Baba is doing the throwing rock attack, she also does the shadow attack at the same time. So every single time the throwing rock is coming at me, I always have a plan of where to click in case I see the shadow starting that would also keep me next to the boulder still. Oh, thread number 3. So last night, I made the biggest purchase I've ever made in my life. And no, this is not a bit. Like, I genuinely made the biggest purchase of my life last night. And I don't want to like come off as bragging, but I really don't ever treat myself to nice stuff. It's very, very rare. And I just want to show you the new car that I got last night. It's a 2022 Civic hatchback. And I just wanted to say thank you because without you watching the videos, I would never have been able to get this. So thank you very much. My old car was a 2000 Chevy Cavalier that had like over 130,000 miles on it. And here's the last picture I have of it before I junked it for $120. So thank you so much again for making this possible for me. No, you're kidding. Dude, Spook still doesn't have a pet yet. Every single time I get one, she's just not very happy with me. Not very happy at all. So you have to like count the ticks because it's a 9-tick cycle, and then on the 8th tick right before this thing shoots out, that's when you have to like click on it to attack it. And if you're tick perfect, you can get a 1 down in a solo. Also, I probably should have spec too. Yeah, that's what you have to do. There's plugins you could use to count the ticks. On the 8th tick you can click. Let's try it right here. Well, okay, I don't have the plugin, but if you want, okay, well, I really messed that up. I don't really care that much though. I'm not stressed for time. Wow, I think this was my fastest 205 invo raid. It was 34:35. The point of this video, I guess, was just to push the invocation up from 150 to see how high I could go to the point where it's like a happy medium of not wiping, but at the same time not having too many supplies left over. And for right now, at least, I feel like 200 invocation is kind of that point where I want to be at. I probably could push it a bit higher, but I'm really enjoying these. They're like chill and not super stressful, yet sometimes I do still have like just the right amount of supplies by the time I get to Warden. I think I'd rather just wait until I get a Fang, or if I ever get a Fang, hopefully, before pushing it up even higher from here. So we are wrapping up this video with the KC being the answer to life, the universe, and everything. No new uniques, and then here is the loot tracker, because 50 KC because it includes the entries as well. And it looks like the amount of mining XP gained throughout this video was 618k XP, so that's like almost 20 hours, about 20 hours maybe of mining. Now that I have more of like a solid foundation and understanding of raids and where I fit in terms of like what invocation works for me, next video is gonna be more grinding out TOA and just doing a bunch of KC, going for the gems, going for Fang, and anything else that we might get lucky with. With that said, make sure to check out my duo teammate Spookdog's channel, which you can find a link to in every video description. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you have a great day, and I will see you again next time.